You know that the
Yeah, I'm more alive.
Oh, alive.
Right. Hello, guys. I don't know if you're here. I have had to come do this live stream on YouTube. I have had to come do this live stream on YouTube because I don't know the principalities that is disturbing StreamYard today. But as I am here, if StreamYard starts to work, I might have to switch back onto StreamYard. Like I've got my laptop here and StreamYard just suddenly messed up. I was watching another YouTuber's program, like a connection just went off. So I think it's a problem with StreamYard. I've been trying to get onto StreamYard for since 7 o'clock on the dot. So StreamYard is still misbehaving. So hence why we are doing YouTube live stream. And so I'm doing YouTube live stream, and I don't know if I'm able to share my screen on YouTube, but we're just gonna have to make do with what we have today. How I wish I was gonna actually postpone this live stream because it would have been lovely if people are if we are able to do it on StreamYard. I don't know the kind of principalities that came onto StreamYard today. So I'm just gonna wait for others to join us so we can get started. So guys, please join. So StreamYard, I don't know what the problem is with StreamYard, but I don't know. So as it is, StreamYard would have been better because I can show you the videos. I want to share my screen with you. Oh, the devil is a liar. We are here. We are here. Except you guys are happy for me to what are the So let me try again. I think is StreamYard back on. If StreamYard is back, I might have to go and come back again. I'm trying. While I wait for other people, let me wait and see if StreamYard is back. So I still can't get onto StreamYard. Yeah, so I still can't get onto StreamYard. Hello, Top Flock Dorival. Hello, how are you? StreamYard has messed up the live stream for tonight because I don't think I can. Oh, I can share my screen on YouTube as well. Okay, great. Okay, let me give that a trial, guys. We are learning every day. Hello, everybody. So it says I can share my screen as well. Let me give that a try. Okay, awesome. I did not know this. So it says I want to share a screen, which is what I want to share. Okay, hold on. I want to share Instagram. It's Instagram page I wanted to share. So let me prepare my page. Guys, please come on in as you come, like and share. We are on YouTube today, streaming on YouTube because StreamYard has suddenly gone mad. Yes, StreamYard has suddenly gone mad. So I'm trying out YouTube stream live. And so, guys, like this live stream for me as you come in. So I've just realized that I can actually share my screen on YouTube as well, which is great. So let's give that a trial. So, okay, we're getting there. So I hope you guys see me. So we are getting started. I think the first, maybe I should just say hello and welcome to everybody first, but I think we want to get started with can you guys see me? I'm hoping you guys can see me. Okay, it's just a little bit slow. So we're getting started with the first story, and I think we should get started with so we're going to be discussing three things actually. So we're going to be discussing the former governor. We're going to be discussing the case involving former governor, Governor Oshiomhole, and also we're going to be discussing CBEX, and also lastly we're going to be discussing healthcare in Nigeria. Hello, Abby. See, Abby, StreamYard did me dirty. I clicked the live button on StreamYard, and StreamYard said, "Start using me now. Start using me." So this is the first time I'm actually live streaming on my laptop on YouTube, and this is the first time I'm sharing my screen on YouTube as well. So, guys, I know people might not be able to call in. Good evening, Happy. Good evening, everybody. I see you. Please like and share as you come in. So, this is the first time I'm actually live streaming on YouTube, itself on my laptop, and I'm trying to use the sharing the screen for the first time as well. So, people might not be able to call. I know a lot of people were waiting on StreamYard there, but I just don't know what happened with StreamYard. I'm still trying to see if StreamYard is working so I can just jump in as quick as possible. But I don't know. I was on Auntie B's live stream earlier on, and she also went frozen. So I'm sure you guys can see me here. I can see what we are talking about here. So I think we should get started with Oshiomhole. Mary Sugar, welcome. I see everybody. I'm not ignoring you, so I'm just going to get started with this live stream. Please like and share as you come in. So we are starting with Oshiomhole. So obviously there was a case involving Senator Adams Oshiomhole, involving him apparently arriving at an airport, allegedly according to Airpeace. Airpeace said he arrived late, and Baba said no, he did not arrive late. And obviously, there's been a lot of basketballs being, obviously towards him. So let's go watch one of those videos. Actually, let's go watch one of the videos of him while he was at the airport. Okay, I'm trying this for the first time, guys. So
no, that's what they are saying. Like, that's right.
So, according to the write-up by Linda Ikeji, it says as drama as Oshiomhole allegedly shut down Lagos Airport Terminal after missing his flight to Abuja. So, a drama ensued at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on the 11th of June after the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, allegedly ordered the closure of the Zulu terminal at the General Aviation Terminal after he arrived late for his flight to Abuja. A video that has now gone viral shows the senator representing Edo North exchanging words with airport staff. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred around 10 past 6 a.m. when Oshiomhole arrived at the terminal to catch a flight to Abuja, scheduled to depart at 6:30 a.m. However, the boarding process was said to have already been closed and the flight departed as scheduled. It is alleged that upon being told that he had missed his flight, Oshiomhole became aggressive and engaged the airline staff in a heated argument. He is said to have blocked the terminal entrance, preventing other passengers from accessing the departure hall. Airport staff alleged that the senator wanted the aircraft to be delayed for him, but the airline operator declined. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCA, and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria fan are yet to react to this. So let's watch the video, guys. Okay.
Why they answer?
That's him in the entrance. Voila. That's him blocking the entrance. Former governor and a citizen said it.
No, that's what they are saying. That it's overbooked. That's right.
Abby said, why did he go with a PJ so he can choose his own time? I'm sure he can afford it. Exactly. Well, fear of they don't want to die. Some of them don't want to die. You saw what happened to Wike now. Wike turned to a prophet, a speaking in tongue prophet when he near death experience. So that was the first video there, and apparently there's been rumors that the flight was overbooked, and there's also been a rumor currently going on that the airlines do something where they sell majority of the tickets to some agents, whereby which means that those who are buying ticket at the last minute can buy at inflated prices from other agents. So for example, let's say me now that I want to go to Nigeria now, I've already pre-booked my ticket and it was cheap, but somebody needed to join that flight that is going to Lagos tomorrow, and some agents have access to extra tickets from the airline, which means that someone that wants to jump onto that flight tomorrow will be able to buy a ticket at the last minute for exorbitant price. So that is what they are alleging. That is what they are alleging now. So that is an allegation, okay? And I think this is not I've practically heard about that before. This is not the first time I'm hearing about the fact that some airlines will sell tickets to agents, which means that if you need to change your flight in 2 hours, maybe you are meant to fly at 10 p.m. tomorrow, and you saw one that is going for 6 o'clock in the morning, you can easily do that via all these agents allegedly. So that's what these I guess Baba is alleging, and that's what some people are saying as well. Joyce, I see you. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry we had to divert to YouTube Live because live StreamYard was a bit, So that's the story we've heard. But let's get going. Oh, let me quickly plug this laptop before it dies on me. So that's the first video there. Okay. So after that incident, I believe Airpeace actually came out with a post. Okay. Maybe I should start from the beginning. I saw a post by Airpeace. So that was the first video. So this was the second video of him. This was where he sat down at the at the entrance to the terminal, where he sat down blocking it. You guys like the live stream as you come in? That's him there sitting at the entrance, blocking the entrance.
No, that's what they are saying. That is overbooked. That's right.
Already watched this. So this is his own explanation according to Oshiomhole. So Oshiomhole said, I got to the airport. I have my ticket. They denied me. Somebody went in and it's Oshiomhole. Then the senior manager came out and said, Oga, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no, I don't want personal favors. So let's see what actually happened here. Okay.
In Abuja says,
so this is him. This is him explaining his own part. Zeno, I see you. How are you? Sorry, we have to come onto YouTube. Live StreamYard is behaving. StreamYard is raving mad. Okay, so this is him trying to say is let's hold on. Let me quickly scroll to the
operation.
Government has a.
There's something I want us to watch all the videos before we start talking. Okay, so you guys already saw this video. That was what happened the first time, where they were saying that it was probably they oversold. So practically, you guys know what happened there. So that's the video of
Government
Baba now wants to explain both sides of the case. Okay, so let's listen to
6 a.m. 30 minutes before the flight, the airline staff still marked him and other passengers late, insisting that the only way they could get on the next flight is if they paid additional 109,000 naira.
These people paid 146,000 at the time they bought. Those who are buying today, emergency this thing, they are paid as much as 250,000. So they frustrate those who paid online at the rate quoted by them and give priority to those who have no previous reservation, who are ready to pay double the price.
The former APC national chairman says he rejected attempts by the airline to offer him special treatment, pointing out that his disposition to enforce his rights and those of other citizens, including children left stranded at the airport, is why the airline is accusing him of disrupting. Opponent in Abuja says,
so that's that. And then
I go to the airport, I have my checking in, they deny me. Then when somebody now went, he says, it's Oshiomhole. Then the senior manager came out. I said, okay, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no. I don't want personal favor. I want my right and the right of these Nigerians to be enforced.
With videos and text message evidence, Oshiomhole backed his claim of what he said truly transpired, which he said can only be corroborated by the Director of Department of State Services, DSS, at the Lagos airport. He said it was right on the spot that he quickly sent a text message to the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, and formally lodged complaints against the extortion and behavior of the airline staff, asking him to thoroughly investigate the matter.
How can they be allowed to profit from their own failures and incompetence? The federal
operations.
So I hope you guys are having on the understanding now. So
has a duty to protect citizens' rights and consumer interests. I feel pained
and ashamed
See you guys. Please
about
like.
how Nigerians are being extorted. Airpeace, I urge you, with all due respect, to protect the flying public
Now today,
from fraudulent practices and extortion by Airpeace.
The senator said he's delighted that the minister has quickly responded to the matter to stop what he described as hopeless capitalism that allows the citizens to heap blames on the government. Omo Bazwai, Arise News.
Government
so I'm trying to find the write up. I'm trying to find the write up from. So there was a previous post from Airpeace to explain what happened. Let me see if I can find the first post by Airpeace. So Airpeace made a first statement where they explained what happened at the airport, and then they made another statement after Oshiomhole came out to say his own side of the story. So I thought I saved that, but I can't find that. But maybe I'll find that at some point. But let's read what Airpeace said after Oshiomhole came out with his own side of the story. So according to Baba Oshiomhole is actually fighting against the fact that they are charging I can't speak English today. They are charging too much for the fact that based on this, they are giving other agents to buy all the tickets in bulk, and then anybody who comes at the last minute can buy ticket at the last minute and pay more, while you have already ordered online. So that is the case that Baba is fighting now. I was like, okay, what is Baba actually fighting for? But let me just put all of these things out first, and I'm going to kind of like maybe explain to people, because yes, both Airpeace and Baba Oshiomhole have a fault in this. Okay, so Airpeace is debunking the side of the story that Oshiomhole said. So Airpeace said our attention has been drawn to the deliberate falsehood being peddled by Senator Adams Oshiomhole against Airpeace. The senator lied blatantly when he accused Airpeace of extorting his passengers. We challenged Senator Oshiomhole to bring one evidence of a passenger that was extorted. None of our staff ever extorted any passenger. In fact, no ticket was sold after the closure of check-in on that flight. Everyone who flew bought their ticket prior to the flight closure. So what they're trying to say is that you can even still buy ticket up until the last minute before your gate closes. If you've not checked in and your gate closed and you now want to come out, even if you've already bought your ticket and you want to come and board, that's you gone. So I believe if the gate is still open, if the checking in is still open, you can still buy flight tickets up until the last minute. I am saying this because when my husband was about 4 or 5 years ago, when my father-in-law passed away, my husband was not even planning on going for the burial anyway, because it was not long when he came back from Nigeria when that incident happened. So it was still kind of like, he doesn't want to go, but at the last minute he decided to go. So he was meant to travel on a Monday, and he was expecting someone to help him get a ticket, but that ticket did not fall through. So on Monday morning, about 6:30, he found a seat on the flight that was meant to leave Glasgow at 10 o'clock that Monday morning. So he tried to pay the ticket online. They were not accepting payment online. They advised him to phone the airport directly. So he phoned the airport directly, and they passed him across to the airline, British Airways. And British Airways were like, okay, they were going to take the payment over the phone. That is, they processed the card details for his flight ticket over the phone, and they tell him they asked him before he paid that, can you make it to the airport in half an hour? So for them saying half an hour, I would imagine, it's closing to time that they are checking in. You can check in. I think you can check in up until 1 hour before the flight leaves. So they asked him if he could make it to the airport in half an hour, and he said yes. So they took the card payment, they sold him that seat, and yes, it was a taxi that he took, and where I live is about 20 minutes away from the airport. So he was able to make that flight. Hello, Cindy Manuel, I see you. So let's continue reading. Again, our flight was never overbooked, as some of his videos alleged. In fact, the aircraft took off with over 30 empty seats. It will have been in our interest to carry Oshiomhole and those others who missed their flight for lateness on this flight, instead of flying many empty seats. But we will never sacrifice our strict on-time performance for monetary gains. It's absolutely false that it was offered preferential treatment and that it was fighting for others. Senator Oshiomhole was not fighting for anyone. He came to the airport late and was told that he was late. He then began to foment trouble. He jumped on the baggage conveyor belt, preventing the check-in process of other flights. He also barricaded the entrance gate and prevented access to the terminal. While he was doing all this, he also deliberately instigated other passengers against the airline. We call on the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria to release the CCTV footage coverage, starting from the time Senator Oshiomhole entered the airport for Nigerians to see. His accusation of extortion is very defamatory. His conduct was very violent, unbecoming, unfortunate, and above all, shameful. So that is what Airpeace is saying to us, okay? I'm getting somewhere with this. I just want to put all of these things out before we start putting our own, opinion out there. So I'm trying to find that write-up by Airpeace, the first one before they came out to debunk what Baba Oshiomhole is saying. So let's listen to this news also.
And Senator representing Edo North, Oshiomhole, is in the news for disrupting the flight operations of Airpeace. On Tuesday, the senator was said to have arrived late for his 6:30 a.m. flight from Lagos to Abuja. According to Airpeace and Eyewitnesses, Oshiomhole became unruly after being informed that boarding had closed and that the flight had departed on time. The senator was asked to rebook his flight and to pay the applicable fees, but refused. According to the airline, Oshiomhole physically assaulted staff, climbed the conveyor belt, and ordered his security team to block the entrance of the Zulu terminal at the General Aviation Terminal of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Airpeace stated that his actions prevented other passengers from entering and caused significant disruption to airport operations. Oshiomhole, in his account, claimed that he arrived at the airport at about 6:05 a.m. and was denied boarding, despite having checked in online. He accused Airpeace of deliberately denying passengers who had booked online at lower rates in order to resell tickets at inflated prices to others on the spot. He claimed to have witnessed Airpeace staff selling tickets for the same flight at significantly higher prices, while other passengers were also being denied boarding.
What they actually do at Airpeace is that because those who bought tickets online, these people paid 146,000 at the time they bought. Those who are buying today, emergency this thing, they are paid as much as 250,000. So they frustrate those who paid online at the rate quoted by them and give priority to those who have no previous reservation, who are ready to pay double the price. I go to the airport, I have my checking in, they deny me. Then when somebody now waits, I say, it's Oshiomhole. Then the senior manager came out. I said, okay, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no. I don't want personal favor. I want my right and the right of these Nigerians to be enforced.
Have an understanding of what has happened so far. Okay, there's been a few people who have called out Oshiomhole. Someone here says if your flight departs at 6:30 and you stroll into the airport at 12 past 6, you're late. For domestic flight, you should be at the airport for 2 hours before departure. If you come later than that, ensure to at least check in online before you get there. If the check-in counter is closed, you don't have a right to become unruly. Every ticket you purchase is a contract between you and the airline, and it comes with conditions. That's what this guy is telling us. We are not arguing that, okay? I'm getting somewhere with all of this. So I just want to put all of these things out so you guys have an understanding of what is going on, okay? We've already listened to Baba's side of the story. He's already denied the fact that he did not do anything. He's not even talking about the fact that he was even late now. It was even what he's fighting for now is the fact that they were charging too much money. Okay, so that's part of that. We've already seen that. And let me refresh this page because Very Dark Man had an input as well. Let's listen to what Very Dark Man had to say, and then I will start putting in what I know. Okay, Abby said she's in the background. Let's hear what the writer came down.
Shameful video of Oshiomhole, who was the former governor of my state, Edo State, and a present serving senator representing Edo North, where he went to shut down Murtala Mohammed Airport's Terminal 1 gate because, according to him, Airpeace flights that he booked, they left before him. Then, according to Airpeace, Oshiomhole arrived late. Now, because of this reason, Oshiomhole went to go and lock the airports, not considering the people that booked with other airlines that want to use that entrance. So he restricted them from entering the airport because you missed your flight with Airpeace, can you now see that this country have gone crazy? Hmm? That is what a very dark man would do, should do, because I will not even do that. But a serving senator, a lawmaker, what kind of example do you want to pass? If a lawmaker would go and lock the airports, the airport gate, access gate, because he missed his flight or because the flight left before him, what do you want the people to do when they get into a situation like that? Adams Oshiomhole, you travel around the world. As a matter of fact, one of your wives now from Cape Verde. As soon as Cape Verde, if you miss your flight or they left before you, would you lock the airport? You don't go UK before. Let's say you miss your flight at Gatwick or at Heathrow Airport, or they left before you still. Let's just say they left before you. Would you lock the airport? So how about the people where won't access that Terminal 1, where they go other places, where they get their own businesses? Did you even sit down to think about them? That was disgraceful. That was shameful. I watched the video yesterday. I was ashamed. I was ashamed. I don't care what happened there yesterday. It is wrong. People just do anything that you like because it's Nigeria. It is wrong.
Okay.
It is wrong. Now, let's go to Airpeace. No, before we go to Airpeace, more can analyze the flight. They said the flight is meant for 6:30. That you came 20 minutes before departure. By that time, they don't close boarding gates, right? And they left before you. We all know early hours flights for Nigeria, especially for there's early hours flight must go. You go hard early hours flight.
I agree with you, Joy. Absolutely. And I'm going to say to you guys why I agree with Joy. Both Airpeace and Baba Oshiomhole, they are both wrong. They are both wrong.
No go. And usually, you are supposed to come to the airport 45 minutes.
Yeah. Before
takeoff time, so that they can properly document you and you can enter. But for Nigeria now, just they come.
Yeah.
Again, that being said, Airpeace, una get una own for body.
Yes, Airpeace is faulty as well.
Because a lot of 80% of the flights from Airpeace, or let's just say 70%, must be delayed. It must be delayed, and there's no consequence for it.
Exactly.
Adams Oshiomhole, now let's come back to you. You cannot tell me that you have not heard stories of Airpeace delaying flights and people missing business opportunities because of flights, especially in this time. Not just Airpeace, a lot of airlines do that. You cannot tell me you have not heard it. All the time when they hear say people they go through all this pain, why haven't you raised up a bill to say, okay, all these airlines, so in Nigeria, or if you delay anybody's flights, you are going to pay them this, you are going to compensate them. Yeah, people hear the cry of Nigeria, you don't do anything.
Yeah,
it can't happen to you now. You go lock airlines. So imagine people who don't lose billions, millions. Yeah. Imagine people who don't get where they're don't supposed to travel for their health, go another state, but they don't feed one because of all these airline delays in Nigeria. So one time now it happened to you. This is not even shame. You go to lock the airport. A man of over 70 years old. It's the kind of example you live for Nigeria. As a serving senator, you will jump on top of this thing. You go lock air. You go lock terminal because you are a serving senator. So all the while when Nigerians they go through, why didn't you stand up to say, Nigerians, this airline, okay, this airline, from now on you start paying for damages. Again, I ask you, what you did yesterday at the Terminal 1, would you do it outside Nigeria? And Nigeria will not do anything on alike.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no consequences.
Absolutely.
You'll be serving senator where they won't carry you. I won't say me Airpeace sue you, but what's Airpeace want to, or maybe terminal or aviation, let them sue you because you made a lot of people miss their flight as well. But of course, now I'll be the law, now I'll be the judge, now I'll be everything. So they don't even do anything. But that was disgraceful. I was ashamed of you, Adams Oshiomhole, considering that you are from my state and the former governor at that.
Okay, so I think we've heard a little bit of all we needed to hear about this case. So I'm going to start as a traveler myself. I've traveled multiple times. And one thing about me is this: if my flight is 10 o'clock in the morning, I often leave home 8 o'clock. So I make sure I've already checked in. So if I've got multiple bags, I make sure I've already checked in. I weigh my bags. I weigh my bags, so I know that once I get to the airport, I'm just going straight to drop my bag. So I do online check-in, and you can check in up until an hour before your flight departs. So for me, like I said earlier on, if my flight is at 10 o'clock in the morning, I leave home at least 2 hours before, because anything could happen on the road. There could be traffic, anything could happen. And for me not to be caught in that, for nothing to delay my flight or to disrupt me, I make sure I leave 2 hours, at least 2 hours before my flight time. So once I get to the airport, I go straight, drop my bag, weigh it, get my boarding pass, and that's that. and then whatever I want to do, if I want to grab breakfast, if I want to go, shop at off duty or duty free, I do all of that. So normally they will advise you to be at the airport at least maximum. I've never traveled within Nigeria, but in the UK, they will advise you to travel to be in the airport at least an hour and a half before your flight. It's not as if your flight is at 10 o'clock, your flight is not going to leave at 9:55. I want to assure you that. If your flight is at 10 o'clock, your flight will not depart at 9:55. In the times I have traveled throughout this year and last year, my flight has either left at exactly the time we were meant to leave or a few minutes past the time we were meant to depart. It has never left before the time. There's a time that you have to check in until, like I said, you can check in up until an hour up until your flight departs. There's a time for when you start to board. And there's a time for you to board. Once you board, you will not be able to check in again. Once you start boarding, you can no longer check in again, because by the time you are boarding, they are putting all the bags into the plane. So by the time you are boarding, you can no longer check in again. And by the time you guys are already fully boarded, that's you done. So there's time for when you come in. Once you check in and check-in closes, the gate closes, you can't check in anymore, you can't do anything anymore. So all of these things are normally like 20 to 25 minutes in between from when gate closes to when the boarding flight opens, and then when you start boarding, it's always 20 to 25 minutes in between. So if Baba's flight was 6:30 and he strolled into the airport at 6:12, I'm sorry, sir, you are late. You were late. Because by then, check-in is already closed, gate is already closed. You can as well just sit down and start looking for the next flight. I don't see any reason why he had to disrupt the airport or disrupt other people from catching their own flights. And I know we're just talking about that abuse of power. So Baba was enraged at the fact that so maybe obviously Airpeace that's not the only flight that is traveling that morning by Airpeace. There will be multiple Airpeace flights going to different locations. So I don't know how he thought that other people were buying tickets at that time at extortionate prices, or they are charging extra for them to buy tickets, because he will have to show proof that people are paying much more for them to be able to get onto the same flight that he has just missed. Because at the end of the day, what they are saying is that you arrived late, you arrived 12 minutes past 6, and your flight is 6:30. So, sir, you were late. And with that being said, just like Very Dark Man said, that you were once a former governor. It's not as if you do not know that airlines cancel flights, they move flights the way they move flight as they like. And I don't think any of those airlines have ever been called out. So when you were a governor, all of this have been happening. The issue that is happening with this type of flight issues now in Nigeria, at some point, this Baba during his tenure as a governor, they contributed, because if you were once in power and things were wrong when you were once in power, directly or indirectly, you have contributed to those things, because like I said, you were part of the functional arm of the government in Nigeria. And this issue of flight being cancelled, flight being this, flight being that, this is that, you could have done something with your power to say, no, something has to change. You did not do anything. So, two-time governor, you are now a senator. You are now a senator. You cannot tell me you do not know about these issues about flight lateness, cancellation, disruptness by various airlines in Nigeria. What have you done? Nothing. So it's a matter of Nigeria happens to Baba Oshiomhole, and Baba could not take it. You were late, just buy another ticket. Simple. Just like here, that attitude, that action he displayed, they will have bundled him before they asked him what his name was. And obviously, apparently, they said that it was like, oh, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? That's the power thinking in Nigeria. So that's my own blame there for Baba. Baba was once a governor. All of these issues were there. Baba did not attend time address. Just like Very Dark Man said that you are now a senator. Has it not called to you to discuss this in the House of Senate? This is the issue. This is the issue. Can't a bill be passed to hold these airlines accountable, that if you just delay flights for no reason or you cancel flight for no reason, you should be held accountable. If you are going to cancel flight, you should provide another flight as soon as possible, or let customers know how long they are going to be delayed for, or the flight that has been cancelled. You don't tell people that their flight gets cancelled an hour before they board. You don't tell them. When I wanted to travel to Nigeria in 2021, let's say my flight is next week Sunday, a week, maybe 9 days time. I received a notification like today to say the time for my flight has been changed. That if I decide to cancel that flight and book for something else, that I have the chance to do so. And I was like, if I decide to cancel, the only reason why it changed was that I'll be waiting for 3 hours in Gatwick, Heathrow, before I join my flight to Nigeria, because I was traveling from Glasgow to Heathrow, and then Heathrow to London. Heathrow to Nigeria. Ideally, I would have waited an hour to board the flight going to Lagos. But due to the change that happened, which they notified me for, I waited for 3 hours in Heathrow before my flight to Nigeria. And I was not bothered because I had my laptop and I just used that one to walk around Heathrow. Before I knew it, it was time for me to board. But they've notified me 9 days. 9 days before the day I was meant to fly. And I was like, it's just 3 hours. And they compensated me because I decided to stay with the flight. They compensated me with about 35% of the money I paid for my flights. I think I got about maybe £250 back. And that was almost about 3 months. I did not even realize that I could claim anything, but they sent me an email. Maybe because I chose to continue with that flight. Some people will have cancelled and say, oh no, they don't want to do that 3 hours wait. Because at the end of the day, you can't come out of the airport. I hope you understand. So, Oshiomhole, Baba Oshiomhole, I'm sorry, sir, you were late. You had the chance, and you still have the chance to do something about it because you are still a sitting senator. You have the chance to do something. So, please do something. And that's that about Baba Oshiomhole. Airpeace, move closer. You guys remember, Joy said they delay flights with no good reasons. Exactly. Tofok Doriva, I hope that's how to pronounce your name. Do you know who I am mentally? First exactly. In Nigerian, anything. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? As if that do you know who I am? Go put for food for people's table. So you also come that I believe late flights are also fined by the airport. Okay, if flights are late, how do they compensate their customers? So I'm now going to talk about Airpeace now. Zuno said, I think it was a PR stunt that backfired. He wanted to be an hero. It is not that time when he was what was he? I think he was in a role in the work something was in a role before he became all of these things. So those days don't pass. You should leave that for Gen Zs. So now Airpeace, move closer. Do you guys remember there was a lady called Yetunde Green who called out Airpeace about how they charge a lot of money for if your bag overweight, if your bag is above the 23 kg, that is too expensive, how much they charge. I'm sure that lady now, she was dragged everywhere, and I did a live stream about her saying she called Airpeace out about their food is shite, that their customer service is nonsense. She called everybody out, and then just Adeton came out to say, Airpeace is our national flyer. Airpeace is our national flyer. It is a good thing to be coming out of Nigeria. And this is that. But somebody has called out the shenanigans of this national air flyer that you want us to know it to be. How then do you want this airline to be better if you are not allowing them to be called out? If I have a bad service via British Airways, for me to get their attention quicker, I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to email. I will go to their most active social media page and I will tag them and put my complaint there. I swear to God, within 24 hours, they will be the one chasing you because they will find your details. They will either email you or send you a DM or reply you to say, oh, can you send us a direct message? I did that with what was that? I did that with Sports Direct when they sold me a wrong size of shoes. I will go to their most active social media handle because that way they don't want bad publicity. They will sharply reach out to you and they will resolve your case for you. So that was what this woman did. And yes, that woman received a lot of backlash. I think, was it Arise News? Arise News dragged her. They were like, oh, when we flew Airpeace, the food was great. The food was this. The customer service was that. But the flight, you not pay for the flight. So now, with that being said, there was a couple of videos I saw last week. There was a young boy saying that I have an important exam that I need to write tomorrow. Now you've canceled my flight. When am I going to fly? This is that people like, I have important business opportunity. This is that like they have canceled people's flights. They will start from, oh, your flight has been moved from 12 o'clock. It has been moved to 4 o'clock. Then they will tell you from 4 o'clock, it has been moved to 8 o'clock. From 8 o'clock, it has been moved to 12 o'clock. At the end of the day, you will not travel that day. So even if this happens, how are these airlines such as Airpeace compensating customers, because customer cannot have a flight for 12 o'clock. They've checked in, they are waiting to board, and then you tell them, bam, maybe 45 minutes before they are due to flight, that their flight has been rescheduled to 4 hours later. It doesn't make sense. So these airlines need to be held accountable. If you cancel flights, how do you compensate your customers? You can't just move my flight. You delayed me by 4 hours and you expect me not to say anything. Omo, you must compensate, though, which is why, like I said, here in the diaspora, for the fact that you are at the airport and they canceled or they moved the time of your flight at the last minute, you will get compensation. And maybe you don't live in that city. Let's say, for instance, I am in Glasgow now. I live in London, and my flight from Glasgow to London was cancelled. If I tell them that, come, I need to get on this flight because I don't have where to sleep, they will put me in an hotel to sleep that night. Do airlines in Nigeria do this? In as much as we are calling out Baba Oshiomhole that he still has a chance to make things right, but we need to be calling out these airlines as well. Like for Airpeace, there's one too many complaints about Airpeace. Let's be honest with one another here. There's more than like multiple. It's just too much with Airpeace, and I know the reason why. There's not a lot of competition. There's not a lot of flights like that with Airpeace, because obviously I believe Airpeace has the highest fleet in Nigeria. So let's learn to call out services that you are being paid for. That means you are paid for the service and you're not getting the right time. Learn to call these businesses out, because if you're not calling them out and you are pacifying them, they're not going to get better. If Airpeace if they want to be true to themselves, let them give us the data of how many flights they have cancelled unnecessarily this month alone. Then we will know maybe they are reliable or not. If they want to tell us that, oh, they are a reliable airline service, they should let us know, give us a record of how many flights alone that they've even cancelled this week. So, in my own opinion, they are not an airline that you should be, they are not reliable. I'm sorry. They are not a reliable airline. So, in as much as Baba Oshiomhole has his faults, he can still make amends. He's still a sitting senator. I think it's high time, now that he has called them out, he still has the time to take Airpeace matter to the House of Senate and go and discuss and let them pass a bill. So Joy is saying that they don't give compensation. Can you imagine? You delay my flight for 4 hours. There have been some people that say that they arrive at 8 o'clock for their 12 o'clock flight. They did not get onto the flight until 10 o'clock. And then, person enter flight, say, I am going to Abuja. Oh. You would expect that flight will go directly to Abuja. Abi? But then they will now be stopping like Molue, and they will stop at so place. And then they will pick person, they will drop person that they will pick. Like, guys, I don't think I've ever bothered such in my life. I don't think I've ever bothered such. Like I said, when I was going to London the last time, there are multiple stops that my flight could have stopped, but it was London I said I was going. So my flight has no reason to stop at Manchester. My flight has no reason to stop at Birmingham. My flight had no reason to stop at anywhere else but London as the last and only stop. But it's only Nigerian airlines, local airlines. You say you want to go to Abuja, you bought a ticket to take you to Abuja. They are now dropping you like Molue, Danfo, Ketuwa o, Yano Ibawa o, Oshodiwa o. Like, make it make sense. These airlines can do better. They can do better. So both sides are wrong. Baba, you arrived late. And I think what they could have done to make sure it was not as upset as it was like maybe find him the nearest flight or the closest flight that will not be long, that you can know, that they can quickly put it on. But obviously you have to pay for it because now you come late. And it was also mentioned that some people were like, oh, that you should not leave them. The story is there's a lot of story out there, but in my own opinion, both of them were wrong. Okay, there's no person do better. Both parties were wrong. That's my take on that, and I hope you will agree with me. So let's go on to the next case. We've already discussed Baba Oshiomhole. Let's go on to CBEX. Yeah, CBEX yo, CBEX yeah. Let me go and find that post I saved on CBEX, because as it is, CBEX is back. Oh, guys, CBEX is back. I saw a post that announced that CBEX is now trading back in Nigeria. You guys probably say, ow. But yes, CBEX is back. Let me find that post. You guys are still seeing my screen. Oh, I'm looking for that post because I saved it. Guys, please like this live stream. I don't like the fact that I'm not able to do this on StreamYard. StreamYard, I've grown to love StreamYard a lot. So, CBEX.
But moving on in another development.
How long ago did they tell us that CBEX was a Ponzi scheme? Linscoin said, you can call them out without insulting anyone. You can call them out without tribal undertones, and you have always used another airline. I don't understand you. Have I called out any tribal? What tribal undertones? What tribal undertones have I used? Please make your statement make sense, please. I don't understand what you just wrote there. So, let me pause this. So, just like I was saying, CBEX, how long ago were we told that CBEX was a Ponzi scheme and that EFCC and I think Interpol were working hard? They at some point, EFCC told us that, oh, CBEX was one of the Ponzi schemes they mentioned, blah, 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 that they've had their eye on CBEX for a very long time. And yes, it happened that CBEX came, it was introduced, people started putting their money. CBEX is like a scheme that promises you double of whatever you put in. If you put in 100,000, you get 200,000, whatever. I think that's a doubling or whatever they call it. And a lot of people cried. Apparently, they were trying to take out the money they've saved, and then they started getting errors. They started getting errors that they are not able to confirm their payments, blah, 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 blah. At some point, the day that they were told that they'll be able to withdraw their money, they were not able to withdraw their money. So EFCC came out to, showcase a few faces of people who are wanted. And there's another guy, I can't remember his name now, who was also declared wanted. And I did a video about that guy. In fact, that guy actually contacted YouTube saying that I was defaming him. And I said to YouTube that, please, how did I defame him? The story I shared was publicly on all Nigerian news sites. EFCC that was how I extended my response to YouTube.com. The information I spoke about, I did not go to fish it out. It was widely available over the internet. And when I replied that way, and I screenshotted a couple of EFCC saying that this man was wanted based on this, YouTube said nothing is going to happen to my video, that it will be staying up. So EFCC said CBEX was a Ponzi scheme, that people should stop putting their money. Tell me why CBEX is now back trading. EFCC, what are they doing? Joy said all airlines are guilty of the same thing. So now they're telling us that CBEX is now back trading. Let's hear this newscaster.
Just weeks after vanishing with millions of dollars belonging to unsuspecting Nigerian investors, the controversial digital trading platform Crypto Bridge Exchange, aka CBEX, is back in business.
Sọjí ṣé kí n gbé korobá fún ẹ kó sunkún sínú ẹ̀. Àgbà bí àká Sọjí ṣé kí n fún ẹ korobá kó sunkún. Tó bá fẹ́ sunkún díẹ̀ mo máa gbé korobá fún ẹ.
Now, the platform, which posed as a financial investment hub but has been widely exposed as a Ponzi scheme, abruptly halted its operations in April, locking users out of their accounts and wiping out several people's life savings. This move triggered widespread panic and even led to the looting of its Ibadan office. And now, CBEX operators are now urging investors to return to the platform to reclaim, in quote, their lost funds. So some users are saying that their trade volumes have been restored, but this comes.
So they said weeks after suddenly shutting down and absconding with hundreds of thousands of dollars from unsuspecting Nigerians investors, all those Ibadan, but I think it's people in Ibadan that suffered the most. The controversial digital financial platform Crypto Bridge Exchange has resumed operations nationwide. However, the Ponzi scheme has imposed a new condition. So their money that they were not able to get out in April, this Ole, allegedly, 419, allegedly, are now saying, okay, those of you that invested there, that you were not able to get your money out, you need to pay $200 in order to reactivate your account before you can get the money you invest. Kai, why lie? And I must tell you, some people will still fall into this and go and start paying that $200. Like they told you guys that on so date in April, you will be able to withdraw your money, and then all of a sudden your account got zero. You can't log in anymore. And now they are now back. EFCC told us that it was a Ponzi scheme. Interpol told us that it was a Ponzi scheme. At some point, EFCC and Interpol were like, they will not be able to retrieve that money back. And then EFCC came out to tell us that they've been able to retrieve some money, but they will not be able to retrieve all. So people are still crying. Some people even chop or tapia and they were drinking palm oil on top of the fact that they were not able to take their money back. So now the new condition is that you must pay an additional $200 to reactivate your account that you were not able to get your money in before it crashed. Like some mumu will still go and pay that $200. But let's keep listening.
With a catch, they're now being asked to pay $200 to reactivate their accounts and withdraw their money. The scheme originally promised to double users' deposits within 40 days, which is, of course, a classic hallmark of digital Ponzi operations. Following their collapse, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arrested several suspects and traced the missing funds to accounts in at least 4 countries. And the agency has since declared multiple Nigerian collaborators wanted, with 2 more names added just last week. But we must ask this question: is this just the next stage in an ongoing scam? I don't know. I think that as much as we have to hold the fraudsters accountable, we must also look at the financial desperation and the lack of digital awareness that makes us Nigerians such easy targets for Ponzi schemes like this. But let's take a look at social media. AfroConnect says, the controversial. He says, say what you want, but CBEX bouncing back with fresh withdrawal options shows their resilience. Let's see if they can regain trust and actually deliver this time. A word is enough for the wise. We'll take another tweet. Excess for Real says, they want to collect some people's money to pay some people. When some people hear that people are collecting money, they will rush to deposit the $200 and then use part of the money to pay another set of people. Before you know it, then don't see times 2 of the initial money they ran with. CBEX, please give people a break.
CBEX. Okay, let's say you have $170.
Right, guys, you guys already know that. So with that being said, according to that the news earlier on, the case is in court. Some people were arrested. Those who were being used to promote the Ponzi scheme were arrested, and their case is still in court. So you guys already know there's the write-up. This was the first write-up that I found. Like I said, I think majority of people in Badon fell. And I dropped my comment there that some Nigerian mugu. I dropped a comment there when I saw it 2 days ago. Some Nigerian mugu will fall again. Why ask for more money to withdraw your own money? Could they not just pay out? You're already holding my money in your account, in your Ponzi system. Just pay me my money. All you probably need to ask me is a proof of ID, a proof of my app, my account number, and then pay me the money that I already have there. Why are you not asking me to pay $200 to take my own money out? Like, you want to buy me, you once beaten, twice shy. You were duped, almost duped the first time. And now they are coming back again to say you must pay $200. And so before you can get that money back, like, these people, like, make it make sense. And trust me, some Nigerians will fall into it. Some Nigerians will fall into it. And since this news of it being back to operating, we've not heard anything from EFCC. EFCC has not come out to say something about it. They've not come out to say anything about it. So how are they watching out for Nigerians? How are they watching out for Nigerians? Please, if you know you have this Ponzi scheme, if they duped you allegedly the first time, don't pay any stupid $200. Don't pay any stupid $200. That's my one. And yes, when we're listening to that news earlier on, they did say that the case.
But moving on.
That there's a case in court. So it says there that court fixes June 30th for ruling on bail applications. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal Court Abuja has adjourned the bail application filed by 3 detained promoters of the crypto bridge exchange CBEX in an alleged over $1 billion fraud until 30th of June. So people are already in court and they are being held. So this case is now being moved to the 30th of June. So Justice Nwite had on April 24th given the EFCC the go-ahead to arrest and detain 6 operators of CBEX over their involvement in the fraud. So they are still saying there is a fraud. And these people now come out here and tell us that CBEX is now functioning again. And for you to be able to reactivate your account to get your money out, you must pay $200. Guys, I don't even know what to think anymore. So the name of the 6 people have been written here, and this is they obviously this is So I don't think I thought maybe some of the lawyers were going to say something. So as it is now, 6 people that were detained for promoting CBEX are in court and they are still being held. They've not been bailed, and their case is going to be resumed or going to be heard on the 30th of June. So, guys, tell me why this thing, this crypto, this Ponzi is still back up, and we've not heard anything from EFCC to say do not pay any money. I would have imagined that once they announce that they are now back into trading, that EFCC is going to say do not put your money. They are still being regarded as a Ponzi scheme. Guys, what do you think is going on? Thief collect, thief carry am. Thief collect, thief carry am. Anyway, if you are one of the people that paid into if you are one of the people that paid into CBEX, Omo, I'm telling you, don't let them use your money to be getting fat. Don't let them use your money to be getting fat. Okay? Right, let's move on to the last topic on the table. And obviously, the last topic on the table, according to the title, is healthcare in Nigeria. Healthcare in Nigeria. So let me find. There was a video I found in the course of the week that broke my heart, and I was just like, also, this is also my advice to those of you who want to go back to Nigeria. I'm not saying you should not go back, but Jakpa da wisely. So I saw a video actually, and it was, I think, some bereaved families who said they took their family member to a Nigerian government hospital. I believe it's called LUT. And they were sad about the fact that when their loved one was brought into hospital, that their loved one was able to talk, was still communicating with them. But when they now brought their loved one to that particular hospital, that they could no longer talk. All of the beverages they bought for their family member, that it was their sick family member was not even the one consuming those beverages, that allegedly the loot stars were the one, chopping all of those canned milk, Bonvita, Milo, and stuff like that. Eventually, their loved one passed away. And according to the family, they claim that they spent a lot of money. A lot of money has been spent while their loved one was in the hospital before they are passing away. And now the hospital is asking them for more money before the cost of their family member could be released. And I believe they are Muslims, and we all know the Muslim rights. When somebody passes away, they have to be buried within 24 hours or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that was the video that I saw, and it broke my heart that LUT used to be one of the best hospitals in Nigeria. There's another one that I know, and I know this because when I was in Ibadan, I was fortunate to go there. In fact, my sister works in one of these Lagos government hospitals. I know of UCH because I've been there a few times when I was living in Ibadan. I've been to LUT maybe once or twice, not as a patient. I was just driving by, and my parents said to me, "Oh, that's LUT, this, that." I've never been there, but I know we're just in the car. So it's so sad that all of these bigger hospitals, all of these government hospitals that should be providing healthcare for Nigerians, they are not being funded as much as they should. And I would imagine that those of you who are in diaspora will agree with me. In the UK, we have the NHS, National Health Service. I believe in the US, they have a privatized healthcare system, but at least they know, God forbid, if they ever fall sick, even though their healthcare system is privatized, they know they can go to an hospital to receive adequate care. Can you tell me if that is the same for Nigeria? Today is the Independence Day today. There's nothing to be happy for me to say happy Independence Day, because we heard Bala Blue spoke today, and from all he said, I don't see anything reassuring about the future of Nigeria. I was hoping that, I listened to his speech, and I listened to the speech of Peter Obi, and I'm much more reassured with the speech that Peter Obi gave as compared to what our current president gave today. So, like I said, healthcare system in the UK here, I've been in the UK for 20 years. I had 4 of my children in this country. I did not pay a penny. I understand that while I pay, I am paying income tax, and some of this money goes towards education, goes towards healthcare in the UK. I am paying national insurance when I pay for, when I work, this national insurance is being deducted from my pay, and national insurance also helps put money into the healthcare system, which means that if I needed to go to hospital for any sort of treatment, I can easily go. Nowadays, even the healthcare sector in the UK is, obviously, it's people are saying it's bad, but I want to reassure you that the healthcare system in the UK, yes, it might be shaking, but I know the arms of the healthcare in the UK that is struggling. The surgical side of the healthcare in the UK is struggling, but medical is not struggling. And why I said surgical is struggling, because there's a long wait list. I remember when I was waiting to get my gallbladder removed, I was on the waiting list for 6-7 years. The first time I was given an appointment to go get to get my surgery, I was terrified because I was going to be put to sleep. I have never had any surgery whereby I was going to be put to sleep. I was terrified, so I cancelled. And because I did not cancel in advance, it meant that I was put back to the waiting list, to the lowest number in the waiting list. So, which meant that I had to suffer for it at some point. I waited 6 years after the first time I canceled my surgical dates before I could get another surgical day again. And then eventually I got my gallbladder removed, and I've been in good health. And also, that's my experience of saying that's the reason why I said surgical part of the healthcare system in the UK is, the waiting list is long. People might not be happy. Some people might think maybe that sickness might take their life. They might decide to go private. You can go private if you have the money. While I said the medical side in the UK is not struggling, was because, remember, guys, last year I thought I found a lump. I found a lump in my left boob. And I was like, no, obviously, when I found a lump, the thing that came to my mind was breast CA. God forbid that for me. That was what came into my head. I was in denial for about a few days. Eventually, I phoned my GP. I was able to see my GP in 3 hours. I called at 8 o'clock in the morning, say, oh, this is what I found. She was like, because of your age, I need to see you as soon as possible. So she said, come in and see me at 10:30. I went in to see her. She observed me. She was like, yes, I found something. And like I said, she was like, because of your age, obviously, if you have in your 40s or below 40s, they get to see you really, really quick. So I was seen at the main clinic to do all the checks. Within a week, she was like, I'm going to send an emergency referral for you to be seen at the clinic. Remember, when I was waiting to get my gallbladder surgery, I waited 6 years. That's surgical. Medical, within a week, I was able to go to the clinic where I had mammogram done. I had all the checks I needed to get checked. They took sample, they drained all they had to do. They reassured me there and there that it was not what I thought it was, because I did scan, I did mammogram, and mammogram was painful, guys. Mammogram, it was painful. They checked both boobs. And before I left that day, I was there for 5 hours. Before I left, I got a reassuring message to say that, it is not what you think it is. And then 6 weeks after, from a sample they took, they were like, no, this is normal. What I got, I can't remember what it's called now. What you had is normal in women, especially if you're still menstruating. So always check your boobs. And most importantly, be very, very conscious at the start of your period and at the end of your period, because that is when you're likely, I think it was a cyst or something. It was a cyst, I think, if that's the right word. So that reassured me. Is this experience that I've had, will it ever be the same as if I was in Nigeria? Will it ever be the same as if I was in Nigeria? This is a genuine question. Flock Dorival said, can you believe Barbados is importing medical staff on contract from Nigeria? Really? Lobaton. Nigeria that is not able to provide for its own people or for our own people. Guys, like this live stream for me. So let me play the video that I said I found. That video, malignant. So when I was feeling it myself, the lump was moving. They said if you feel a lump in your boobies, if it's movable, if it's moving, they don't think it's CA. If it is hard, then it must know it was moving around like a jelly. So in a way, that was what my GP. This is what it is, but I'm still gonna have to send you there because yes, there's something there. So I'm super happy that 6 weeks after I got result back to say, you know what, I don't even have the genes. That was even reassuring for me. So I got the whole clip. I was seeing really quick, which means that the medical side of NHS in the UK is very, very quick. But the surgical part is there's a long waiting list for that. But at least I know I've got these two parts that are working in the UK. Will that be the same if I ever go to Nigeria? Come and pay for card first before they see you. Come and pay for this first. You need antibiotics. Take this list of medicine. Why do you have a patient coming to your hospital, a patient you are admitting, and you are having to give them a list to go and buy? Do you not have a pharmacy in that hospital? Because I would imagine that are going to be prescribed and given to you should be provided. Because what is this talk of they need blood? Go to so pharmacy at Ojuelegba. Maybe you are going from Highland to go and buy blood and you are going to mainland. Please tell me, how does that make sense? Why are things like this not available within the hospital where the patient is? Why? On a normal day, it should be that you admit somebody into an hospital as your whatever medication treatment you're going to give them should be available within the hospital facility. And all of these things should be what you had to the patient's bill and which should be settled by the patient, of course. But go to so pharmacy, go and buy antibiotics. Go to so place, go and buy make it make sense. I guess I'm talking too much now. Let me play that video, guys.
My father is in pain. He lost his son at 36 years old. That's why we come out 1.9 million. That's the go quick. Shajayi no one. We paid you people in full. He is in the ICU for 15 days. We paid you in full. Over 7 million naira. Why you need that? Also, I cook for 1.9 million. You are saying you shoot us.
Can you imagine? So what they're saying here is that I'm going to read it up here. So this family is calling out loot for detaining the body of their brother who passed away. So the write-up said, according to one of the family members, in quote, we brought him from Aisha Hospital awake and talking. He was ready for surgery due to a brain tumor. Loot moved him to ICU, said he was too weak for surgery, and started requesting millions, drugs, milk, and more daily. The next day, he went into a coma and didn't wake for 5 days. When he finally opened his eyes, he couldn't speak, just stared silently. After 15 days in ICU, he passed away. Now, the hospital is demanding 1.9 million just to release his body. Looking through the comment section, my heart broke even further. There are some people think this is something they can laugh about. Some people think this is something they could drag the family about. Oh, just pay the hospital anyways. Just pay the hospital anyways. That was what most of the comment in this comment section was saying. And I was like, oh my God, where is our heart? Where is our compassion? Where is us showing empathy? It might be them today. It might be those people's turn tomorrow, God forbid. When do we learn to show empathy, compassion towards our fellow people? You might not be directly connected to them, but hearing that a young person from that woman's voice that their father is ill, they have a father. No parent deserves the death of their child, especially when it's even not even the youngest child or how young the child is. So these family members are screaming, saying, "No, just give us our family." And what did the hospital do? The hospital decided to go and get more post officers to come and chase the family away. Like, I know whatever treatment they've given to this person, they need to pay. And according to this lady, she claimed that they've been paying. They've brought stuff in, and now they are demanding that they pay 1.9 million naira before they could release the body. Let's keep on. So that's just a summary for those who don't understand Yoruba, okay?
Yes! You people killed himself. We brought him here from Aisha Hospital. He was talking. But since he came here 15 days, for Lajuko Soro, and everything in them move, and you're already blue. In a day. Yes. And he wants to go.
Do you guys hear? They were spending more than 500,000 naira in a day, and their family member was there for 15 days. Guys, multiply 15 times 500,000. That's a lot of money.
Guys, like, we without telling us. So the man now go 46,000.
They should, according to her, they buy medications worth 46,000 naira almost every day. Every day, medication worth 46,000 naira is what they buy as a family.
0.9 million.
Saying that whoever listens to them, saying that they do not owe the hospital any money. That they do not owe the hospital any money. That's what the family member is saying there in Yoruba.
My brother has fallen off since Sunday. I want me to woo. I 15 minutes.
So this video I saw it 2 days ago. So according to that lady, the brother passed away on Sunday. So obviously, as a Muslim, they need to do the Muslim rites and stuff like that. They just want their family members' body to be, to be released. But the lady was like, they were told that they gave them 15 minutes, that they will bring the corpse out, that the body is swollen, they just want to go bury their brother according to the Muslim rites, that if they don't bring that corpse out in 15 minutes, that we're going to throw fire into the hospital. Voila. So this is what I'm saying about healthcare in Nigeria. So we've already listened to that video anyway. That's part of it. And with that being said, like I said, when I listened to that video, it broke my heart. It actually broke my heart. So Arise News also obviously listened to it as well. So let's hear what Arise News has to say. ₦7 million. Wow. We've already watched that video, so it's pretty much the same. So obviously that part that the newscaster said there, I was not aware of that. So the family claimed that you heard that $1 million. That's a lot of money. And then another video that I saw, or another post I saw, was this about the power outage. Remember, guys, I've been saying something about UCH, University College Hospital. UCH is in Ibadan. It's one of the biggest hospitals, government hospitals as well in Ibadan. You would think that all of these government hospitals, that they will pump money into it so that people can use this hospital, because not everyone will be able to afford private healthcare in Nigeria. Even the private healthcare, you remember that Just Adetun shared a story of how she was having constant headache, and she decided to go to a hospital, like one of these big hospitals, where she even know the consultant there. I know they were able to see her, and they said that, from the test and everything, that she was going to need a brain surgery. But Auntie said, okay. Auntie took all of her results and found her way to the UK, only for her to be given a spray. She was given a spray like this. Which she had to put in her nose. From when she tendered all the results she took in Nigeria, she was told by her hospital, her GPA, that no, nothing of such is wrong with you. All she was given was a nasal spray, which I have here. I often suffer from migraine as well. And the reason for my own migraine is because I've got dry eyes. So it will set off my migraine. So Auntie Adeton was given this nasal spray that is less than £5. And they told her in Nigeria that she was needing brain surgery. When I heard that one, it is a private hospital. If a private hospital is not able to give you adequate care, what do we expect of a public hospital, government hospital, that the government are not even putting money into it? I don't think, in fact, any Nigerian now will be praying that they should not force it, because even the healthcare in Nigeria, you can't. People were like, come, if you carry any family member into loot, just know that family member is not going to come out again alive. Allegedly, some of the comments that I've seen. And then I saw this video also. Obviously, there was a time there was exposed going on that UCH, that they were in blackout because they were owing debts of electricity. Hospital, though, government-funded hospital, owing electricity debts. Guys, make it make sense. Government-funded hospital owing money for electricity, which means that if there were to be surgeries planned, they won't be able to do any surgery. No electricity. And then it was now it was alleged that family of patients are asked to bring generators to the hospital. They are bringing torchlights. They are bringing petrol to put into the plant that the hospital has. Though, with all allegations going on, the hospital came out to debunk it, say that that's a lie. We never had anything, this issue. We never asked patients to bring generators. We never asked any blah, 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 blah. If it was possible, they will ask patients to bring solar. Bring your solar power to your hospital. But this video here, it was connected by BBC Africa. It says that for more than 100 days, from October 2024 to February of 2025, Nigeria's oldest teaching hospital, the University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, was disconnected from electricity supply due to unpaid bills. So tell me why the story that those family of the patients were saying that they were asked to bring generator. Tell me why those allegations was not true. I believe the allegation of those people. I believe that they were told to bring their generator allegedly, because if this, obviously BBC is a reputable news agent. They say here that for more than 100 days. So is it that UCH did not conduct or did not treat any patient between October 2024 and February of this year? Because if you want to operate in a theater, so many monitoring systems has to be in a theater to carry out surgeries. So did they not carry out any surgeries at all during that period? Was there no patients in that hospital between that period? So it says that even before the blackout, power had been unreliable, disrupting critical medical services. The BBC's Emmanuel James spoke with affected patients and hospital workers who say power remains limited more than 3 months after the Nigerian government intervened. It was after the government intervened that they brought electricity. Let's listen. Listen, no be me they talk, I'm listen. Hey. I saw a comment there. Tough luck, though I would say tough luck. Tough luck said in the USA, families are leaving their deceased relatives in the morgue for the government to bury. Same here. If they will tell you they can't afford it, it's the government that will bury at the end of the day. The same is being said of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados as the people are scared to enter. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And they are telling us that it is independent democracy today. Happy what? What are you happy about democracy being today? Guys, I'm going to leave us to watch this part, and then I'm going to start rounding up, guys. Can you imagine? Wow. This patient has we share the same maiden surname. That's my maiden surname. She's God as well. We share the same maiden surname. Mm. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? 8 hours. So that's that. I think we don't have the full documentary yet, but that's just a snippet. So let me stop sharing my screen and I'm going to start rounding up. So we all know the problem going on in Nigeria right now. There's a lot. You can't hear, okay? What do you mean you can't hear me? And they were able to see her and they said that, oh, can you imagine? Sister Nat, you said you can't hear. Can you still not hear me now? All right, okay. Let me see if I can share my screen again. Let me see if I can share my screen again.
Outage
Let me know if you
affected
can
me
hear this
twice.
video.
I almost lost my life during that time.
I never envisaged that I would give birth at a hospital where there would be no light.
My first experience was in June 2024. I was supposed to have a surgery at UCH, but I could not do that until October 2024 because of the power outage. My second experience was December 2024. I had a crisis around that time and I was referred from the school clinic to UCH. They could not do the blood screening on time because of light. A proper cross-matching was not done. I started reacting to the blood just about 30 minutes into the transfusion.
Can you imagine?
After delivery, I had severe tears and I was like, are these guys going to sew me up with torchlights? The doctor was literally putting his hands and then removing it with torch. I mean, it could have it had every reason to go wrong.
We are tired. Yes, you are one.
It crumbled not just normal life of people, but also the academic life.
What we have now is on a rationing, rotational basis.
Rationing.
About 8 hours of light daily. And even those 8 hours are not guaranteed.
The UCH power outage.
So that's the last of that video. There was just a short video there. It was just a short video. So guys, that's the issues that when I was talking about Jakpada and all of these things, I know obviously I was expecting more of President Tinubu today in regards to some of the things that Peter Obi touched up on. And I think from my notes, if I still have it on my notes here, a part of what it touched on was obviously poverty alleviation, healthcare, and education. And of all, I mean, for the part that I listened to, that I watched, I was disappointed. And so I'm like, know what? If you want to jackpot, and if you want to jackpot that wisely. And I know the state of health and all of these things in Nigeria can get better only if our governments actually prioritize how they spend money. Tell me if ICE's International Conference Center that cost them 35 billion naira, tell me if that was much more important to them than providing better electricity facility at either LUT or UCH. 39 billion naira will go a long way to at least maybe bumping up the salary of some doctors and some nurses. And again, I was saying there was a video of an A&E in Abuja where a good Samaritan brought an accident victim to that medical center in Abuja. So the guy got there and he was asking them to come and get the patient, the accident victim, from his car. And two ladies came out. There was a wheelchair by the side of the car. And clearly the person in the car was obviously not conscious. They were, just helpless in the back of the car there. And they showed a part of the injury on their head. And the man was like, come, won't you guys come and take the patient out? And they were just like, there was no that, when you go to an accident and emergency department, you see how people, once they know a patient is coming, especially if you're an accident victim with major injuries, the way they would know coming, there's somebody who is there to, like, either, regardless of where on the body the injury is, somebody's already with the scissors that they take off the clothes and stuff like that. These two women, they were just nonchalant. They did not even look like nurses working in an accident and emergency department hospital in Nigeria. At some point, the man was like, when are you not going to carry this patient? This is it, that I've already brought the patient. I don't know them. This person is an accident victim. I've brought this patient. Get the patient out of my car now. That I've done the one God asked me to do. Do you know what one of the nurses said? There is no gloves. No gloves. And this, it says, I think it's FCT something in Abuja. Something medical something in Abuja. It's an A&E department in Abuja. In Abuja, Federal Capital of Nigeria. One of the nurses said, there is no glove in an A&E. And the man was like, no glove. It was a nonchalant attitude. Like, they were not even moved that, okay, this is an accident victim. And you all know somebody involved in an accident. Every second counts because one, you don't know the kind of injury they have. They might be bleeding outwardly, but you don't know if they are bleeding inside. You don't know the severe whatever damage or severe injury they might have. So every second counts for such person. And with this guy that I saw, is there was like BLOOD all over his head. He was definitely not moving. The man later on said, okay, I think they were asking the man to help them lift the patient out of the car. The man was like, come, I've already brought this patient in. There's wheelchair, there's two of you. Can two of you not? Shouldn't not have a stretcher. There's two of them. Move the patient move the patient and put the patient on the wheelchair. Obviously, I would ask you to carry the bed patient because it seemed like an average size man. Do they not have a stretcher? Do they not have an hospital trolley? Exactly, they were not dressed like professionals. I'm sorry. In our A&E in department, even if you're a nurse, you either wear a scrub or you wear your nursing uniform, you're blue and blue. They look like somebody who just came there to come and look, to just come there and do their shift and go home, not expecting patients to come in. I felt disgusted. I was raging. I have a video that I made. I don't know. I've got a lot of videos I'm going to be publishing. So that video is going to come at some point. Please, if you see the video, please gravitate and watch it for me. I was raging. The man said, I've been here for 15 minutes. So it's taking them 15 minutes to get that patient out of the back seat of the car. Only for one of them to say, there is no gloves. And the man said, there is no gloves. Okay, I'm going to film you. Let the minister know that there is no glove in this hospital. Let the minister know that you do not have what you need in this hospital to be called, And one of them was like, don't film me, don't film me. This guy filmed it. That was how that video came out. Yes, I believe there's a certain minister. I don't know. They've said they are carrying out investigation. Should that be what in Nigeria of today, should that be what we should be getting from our accident and emergencies? That's why I said our government have a bunch of misplaced priorities. There are tons of schools with leaking roofs. They are not looking to go and spend money there. We have hospitals, government hospitals, one of them Lutz, one of them UCH, that needs adequate funding. They are not putting money there. Doctors need better raise. If their salaries are well paid, they will not be jackpotting out of the country. And with that being said, I am not saying you should not jackpot, but do it in the legal way. With all of that being said, nurses are paid peanuts. Tell me why they will not leave. If you pay them well, even here that we are in the UK, our governments, they don't want to pay nurses, but we have governing bodies that are saying nurses deserve their pay rise every year. Nurses deserve pay rises. If you're not paying them well, then they will not be. Obviously, some of us are doing it for the passion of helping people. And for me, I believe I've shared why I went into nursing. Let me quickly share why I went into nursing. I did not necessarily go into nursing for the money. Like I told you guys, I gave back to 4 of my children in this country. The experience of when I had my children from when I had my first daughter in Nigeria was totally different. I was left on my own in the maternity ward I was in. I was in a lot of pain as a first-time mom. And you guys know, I think I was 21. I was 20 or something when I fell pregnant with my first daughter. And I was in Nigeria. I labored and gave birth to her in Nigeria. I was left on my own. Nobody was checking how dilated I was. I was in labor for over 48 hours. I was crying my eyes out. That was my first ever pregnancy. Never born became before then. It was a lovely elderly matron that came for our shift that day. She was like, this young lady has not given birth yet. What is going on? By the time I observed, she was like, oh yeah, go and get me oxytocin. Is an injection that will bring on your labor really quick. She was like, oh yeah, go and get me oxytocin. We need to give her oxytocin. Immediately that woman did that. They gave me oxytocin. I had my baby in half an hour. Assuming that matron did not come to work that day, only God knows what will have happened to me and my daughter. Now that experience compared to being here, the way that I will cry my back, they will come and rub my back for me. Here, my husband was there for me. That one, I was holding his clothes. Like, yeah, now you put me in this condition. I was crying. He was there. The midwives were rocking my back. They were asking me, do you want to go in the pool? Do you want this? Do you want gas and hair? Now, if I knew then that I could tell them that I want CS, I would have asked that, okay, give me CS. All of my baths, all of my babies, I had them without any, they were all They were all, VJJ bats with gas and hair. No payment, no epidural, no nothing. So all of these things, the care I received for all of my children, the people who looked after me cared for me. I could see the passion in their eyes. And that, even at that, I was still not thinking of wanting to become a nurse. One of my kids had a major surgery. It was a spinal surgery. The care from when he was diagnosed to when he had his surgery. If na Nigeria I dey, I swear to God, I for don't lose the enemy of that my child. Is it the multiple consultants that were, they were discussing his case in an MDT, and I was sitting down there because this consultant said, "Mom is a nursing student, and I think she should be in this meeting." Every MDT meeting they were discussing to discuss my child's case, I was there. Even though I feel don't understand what they were talking about, they were like, okay, what's going to be the success rate of this surgery? At that time, my child was below the age of 16, and there were multiple consultants. A few of them, I think one was a German consultant, one was an Asian Indian consultant, and one was like an English doctor, so they're like orthopedic spinal surgeons. So they all have different thoughts. One said, oh, let's operate before this child turns 16. And then one is saying, no. The way I look at this child, by the time this child turns 16, this child has got a tendency to be somebody with big bones, which means that his chest cavity is going to expand. So let's wait till this child turns 16. Let's monitor him via x-rays, chest x-rays, until we see that his chest cavity has expanded. And the other doctor, the third one, the English one, was like, you know what? Oh, I noticed this in this child. Let's give this child a shoe raise. From the surgeries that from the surgery that he's had in the past, not surgery, from the ultrasound x-rays that he's had, they noticed that one of the length of his leg is longer. So he practically had scoliosis. And scoliosis happened in African children, and they don't seem to know what causes scoliosis. So scoliosis, for people who don't know, is curvature of the spine. So he had curvature of the spine from T4 and T5. So T4 and T5 is just from here. So which means his curvature was there. And also they were taking their time before they carry out surgery, because where that curvature is like where from the level where his heart is. So they were very, very careful. Hence why one of the consultants were like, no, this is around the chest, T4 area. Let's wait till he has get that outburst of growth when his chest cavity has expanded. And at the end, I was sitting down there and I was looking like, now my picking case, then they discussed like this. Tell me if that was in Nigeria, you think I would get such opportunity to even listen, talk more, that some people who have passion for what they do will be discussing that case. 3 good heads were discussing a case of one child. Tough Luck said, in Africa, in the Caribbean, it happens from us bringing water on our heads and carry other items on our heads. Oh, well, for us, because I was asking the consultant that what actually causes scoliosis, they said they really don't know. It happens, and the only way to correct it is spinal surgery. So they all agreed that, okay, we'll wait till this child turns 16. And he had that surgery 2 days after he turned 16. It's been 3 years now. And in fact, he's grown a couple of inches taller. So they have to put screws to straighten his spine. They asked me to come into theater. I said no. That surgery took them 6 hours. If I was in Nigeria, I wouldn't even be able to afford the surgery. They'll probably be saying that, oh, we should go to India, because anything that involves, spine, bones, they often refer you that, oh, you need to take that child to India. But those were the things that me being appreciative of where I am. It was one of the things that contributed, that made me decide that no, yes, my first degree was information technology. I've never worked for one day with that degree. And then I was like, no, I'm going into nursing, because I've seen how care was given passionately. I saw how 3 people advocated for my child. And with all of their advocacy, the surgery turned out better. They did not even expect the recovery that he got. They were like, oh, maybe he's still going to be bedbound for a week or 2. My son was up and walking in 3 days. The morphine they gave him, like the ones in the button, the syringe that you're meant to press a button, he did not even use 30% of what it was prescribed, which meant that there was not a lot of pain. So those were the things that motivated me to go into nursing, that I want to be able to give back love, give care in love and compassion because I care. Can we say the same for, like I said, the truth is kind of service I got when I had my daughter. And yes, when I had my daughter, it was a very expensive hospital because my husband was in Holland then. So there was money. It was not as maybe I went to 1 year hospital. I was left on my own. I was in pain. They did not even allow anybody to come with me. So I think our government needs to invest more in healthcare system in Nigeria. Every day I open Instagram, I see malnourished videos of children. I see children suffering. It's just a lot. And anytime I see those videos, this song of Michael Jackson often come to my head, like they don't care about us. It comes into my head and it often leaves me very emotional. So if you're a Nigerian watching me here, you might see me talk, don't jackpa that. I will never tell you not to jackpa. But me saying that jackpa that, do it because you are certain that you know where you're going back to. And make sure you have good health, because we know of people, they live here, they go to Nigeria, their health deteriorates and they struggle to come back. You don't want that to be your case. And if God help you that you already have your second passport, which is good, you can always come back for medical checkups. So guys, the independence today was not independency. And like I've always said that Nigerians, we are not ready. Because if we are ready, we'll be calling out. I don't think I can do link on YouTube because I'm using YouTube. StreamYard messed up. I was on Sister B's, I was Auntie B's show earlier on today, and StreamYard messed up. I was meant to do this live stream on StreamYard, but StreamYard messed up. I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard. It's still not working. StreamYard is still not working. Guys, I'm just leaving. I'm just about to go. Abby Crystal, I see you there. So I don't think I can do I don't think I can do I don't think I can do that here. So I'm sorry guys. I guess that's why a lot of people are not watching, because StreamYard, I don't know what happened to StreamYard today. Anyway, guys, I was just rounding up. We have every right to call out our government, and we have every right to ask for how they should treat us, because they can't keep on with what they are doing and Nigerians are keeping quiet about. I'm sure majority of Nigerians are not happy with the current state of Nigeria, but if we are not talking, they are not going to do anything about it. And also, just a quick summary for those who are just joining us. We spoke about Oshiomhole versus Airpeace. Baba was wrong in trying to delay other people, trying to cause mayhem by not allowing other people to get on their flight. Baba was definitely late. He was definitely late. So for the fact that he was late, he should have just booked another flight or something rather than trying to cause mayhem. And Airpeace has a fault as well. We've had multiple cases of Airpeace being called out. We've had multiple cases of Airpeace, canceling flights at last minute. And I don't think I've ever heard of them compensating anybody. If your flight has ever been, cancelled, moved, or whatever, please let me know when you're watching this video back if you were ever given any compensation by Airpeace. Airpeace need to do better. Like Nato said, my dad was in the hospital for 5 days, no life for scan. I begged to buy diesel, then turn me until the man. I'm so sorry to hear that, Natu. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's that is a sad one, So yeah, our government, better place there that you can spend money on. And also, guys, don't let CBEX come and use Kai for you. CBEX, they told us, is a Ponzi scheme, and now they are now back in business, even though there are some people who have cases in court. Don't go and pay any stupid $200. They should be paying you your money that you already have in their accounts. That's what I'm going to say to you. With that being said, guys, this is the end of my show today. I'm really sorry that we have to use a different platform today. I really don't like the picture. The picture is not how the way I want it, but StreamYard, it just messed up. So I hope StreamYard start working before tomorrow, because I've got another live stream tomorrow that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, exactly. Gates also changes often as well. and that they will communicate it to you. Like I remember when I went to Germany, my gate was changed. It was God. Something just said to me, check your app. Check your app. And that was about 25 minutes to start boarding. Something said to me, check your app. And I checked my app and I realized that my gate has been changed. And I was like, see you. So when I checked my app, I now went to the screen and I realized that yes, it has been updated there. So I had to like walk about 5 minutes around trying to look for my gate. So my gate moved from gate 11 to gate 40 something. And I was like, that's how I would have been sitting down there. Me, I had my app, I was watching movie on my phone. So gates change, these things happen, but they need to communicate it early so that people can find their way to their gates. When my mom was there the last time, she missed her flight now. We already checked in, boarded for her, but because she had an injury, a cut on her toe, which meant that her movement was slowed. So by the time before she walked to go board, they were already boarding. So by the time she was seeing the flight, she was standing there by the gate. The flight, they were like, no, plane moved. So the air hostess, one of the airport staff had to call that, your mom, if we knew that she had an injury on her leg, we could have done. So they called us to come and pick her. So when they realized that she didn't get on the flight, they already took her bags, they took her bags off and stuff like that. I was so mad, which meant that I think my mom did it intentionally so that she wouldn't go back to Nigeria. My mom spent exactly 6 months here. So when she missed her flight, we had to bring her back, waited for another 2 weeks because we had to get we paid some difference, maybe like 150 something pound difference to get her another flight booked. So this time around, I told them that she needs help. I need somebody to wheel her on a wheelchair to the gate, and they will stay with her till she board the flight. I needed somebody to take her to the gate. I needed somebody to make sure that she boards the flight. And that's why I love British Airways. And yes, my mama came. We dropped at the airport. When she was in the flight, she texted me, say, I'm now in my seat, I'm now in the airplane, And then when she arrived in Nigeria, my family collected her. So I learned. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I believe all of these things I've discussed in this video, they've all been said in good faith because I'm a Nigerian. Regardless of if I have 20 passports, I am a Nigerian. I can't change that. So we need to start speaking in one accord about the changes we want for our country. With that being said, thank you so much, guys. I shall see you all again tomorrow. Hopefully, StreamYard behaves. And if you're watching this video back again, please leave your thoughts and opinion based on everything that has been discussed in this live stream. And if you've watched me till now, you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not yet done so, turn on your post notification, share this video. Do not hesitate to join my membership. Life with Naito, shout out to you. She's one of my members here. Habi is also one of our members here. And you joining my membership is just a way of saying, oh, that Mama 5, take this. I enjoyed the live stream you did today, or I enjoy your show. That's pretty much what, if you super chat me, if you join my membership, it's all about. With that being said, have an amazing Thursday night. Yeah, today is Thursday, right? And thank God it's Friday in advance. It's Friday tomorrow. With that being said, I'll see you guys later, all right? Bye for now.